Okay, how's it going, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Okay, well, so in this episode, I thought I'd try to say something about the popularity of mysteries, and maybe mystery novels in particular. What makes them so enticing for so many people? Well, let me speculate. Okay, well, so I'm not sure if this is exactly accurate, but I read somewhere that Agatha Christie has sold upwards of 4 billion books, which seems pretty crazy. Or The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle, just that one series has sold over 60 million copies. So this makes me ask why it is that we're so attracted to mystery novels. What is it that makes them so appealing? Well, so I can think of at least 2 important reasons why we like them so much. First of all, it's because most of the sorts of novels, mystery novels, usually end with the discovery of the perpetrator or the killer and his or her capture. Now, this is satisfying, of course, because what it gives us is a sense that justice has been rightly served. In other words, these sorts of endings appeal to our desire for fairness and for proper punishment. It's very comforting to know that the scales of justice have been balanced and that all the messiness has been cleaned up. Now, but the question is, exactly why is this so comforting? Well, I would say that it's because this just isn't something that we get from real life. No, in real life, many of the transgressors, the guilty, they get away with their crimes. The evil sometimes prosper and the good often suffer. A theme that goes right back to at least the book of Job, right? Anyway, the point is that the reason we feel so satisfied knowing that the bad guy will get caught is because it's something that's often denied to us in reality, and which we get nothing but resentful over. So mystery novels give us something we so desperately want that's not always available to us in our own lives, namely justice. That's to say, as one commentator put it, they relieve us of our anxiety by setting the scales right. Okay, so I think that the other major reason that mystery novels are so appealing to us has to do with the fact that they usually offer us a complete, airtight explanation of everything. Or to put it another way, maybe, what they ultimately give us, if we hang on long enough, is a coherent narrative. Now, here's the thing. That's extremely psychologically satisfying. That's to say, there's something satisfying about the revelation of a fully coherent narrative into which all the details and descriptions and events in that novel ultimately fit together. Or again, to put it another way, there is something appealing about the end of these novels where we get the full solution to the crimes and its complete explanation, which includes seeing how every single thing fits into that final explanation. In other words, we see how everything is connected, which includes not only the plethora of scattered detail throughout the novel, but also the subplots and the red herrings even. Heck, even detours and seemingly insignificant details ultimately begin to make sense. Everything is there for a reason. Everything serves the story. Everything is there to, in one way or another, explain the mystery. Everything moves towards that common goal. So I think you could say that all elements of a mystery novel are significant and meaningful. Actually, you know what? This reminds me a bit of what Aristotle said in his super influential book called The Poetics. There, what he essentially says is that a good story should contain no superfluous elements, that every single detail should be necessary. The way that he said it was that a good story must have unity. And he even talked about it in terms of having organic unity. Now, why organic? Well, because he compares the workings or elements of a good story to a living organism, to an animal. What he says is that just like in a living organism where every body part is working together and related to each other and to the animal as a whole, so too in a good story should the various incidents and events bear a connected and harmonious relationship to one another and to the whole thing. So just as in an animal where every body part is essential for its life, and so, of course, can't be removed without causing it great injury, so it's also the case with a good story. Namely, everything about it is so essential that were you to take out one part of it, you'd cause it great injury. Okay, but anyway, so back to what I was saying about mystery novels. I was saying that an important part of their appeal is that they eventually reveal to us how it is that everything's connected and also fully explainable. Now, why exactly is that so appealing? Well, again, it's because it's not something that we get in real life, is it? Whether it has to do with our own personal life or with existence as a whole, in real life, we're just not guaranteed that a coherent narrative is coming. One that will make sense of everything that's happened to us or to the world. Reality just doesn't provide us with nicely tied bows, but rather what it gives us is often a bunch of knots or loose ends. Despite our attempt to try to tell consistent stories about ourselves and about the world, not everything is in fact coherent about us or about life itself. And things in reality don't seem necessary or essential, do they? No, they often seem contingent and arbitrary and chance-like. But again, this is why we're so attracted to many types of artworks, like mysteries, because they give us a world that we can inhabit where necessity rules and where things are ultimately explainable. I mean, on the topic of necessity, think about music for a second. Think about how we feel when listening to a bit of music where each note in the melody just seems to lead to the next one with a kind of necessity. It's as if each note had to be that way and in that sequence and just couldn't have been anything else at all. Think of how aesthetically pleasing that is, how beautiful it seems, and how much it just moves us. We want to live in it forever. We don't want to go back to our messy lives, one without flow and where it's difficult to make heads or tails of things. Well, this is why we return to Miss Marples, because she promises that there's an explanation for everything and that every single thing has its proper place in it. Bye for now.